Hey everyone, it's Enchanted, and I wanted to talk about this tweet that went viral on Twitter regarding Beyonce and Aaliyah. So the post read, if Aaliyah didn't die, Beyonce wouldn't have had this high status that she has now. I see this statement every other month on Black Twitter, and all I really have to say is it is complete bullcrap. This is one of those things that people say and feel like they can say because you really can't disprove it, so they try to claim it as a fact. And I just feel like people love revisionist history. Like, first off, this is, no disrespect to Aaliyah, but the huge boost in her fame, where she kind of reached this, legendary status, it came after her death. Now, I'm not saying she wasn't, famous before. She had many hits, but, just like Mac Miller, Nipsey Hussle, Tupac XXX, they become otherworldly once they pass away. This isn't, no means saying that they weren't popular or famous before, but, their death obviously brings a lot of traction and causes, a huge boost in popularity. I feel like revisionist history, has people thinking that Aaliyah was a bit bigger than what she was, and I was born in the 2000s, so, correct me if I'm wrong, but I have always heard that, her R&B peers like Brandy and Monica were bigger at those times. So I'm wondering why people think that she would have had a bit, have been bigger than Beyonce when her peers at the time who were bigger than her, again, Brandy and Monica, are nowhere near Beyonce's status currently. And, to be fair, I understand that Aaliyah was, she could have reached her full potential a lot later in her career, which would allow her to compete with Beyonce. Different artists peak differently. But at the same time, we have to really be honest with ourselves. Beyonce's status is nowhere near normal for famous people. She's a celebrity of celebrities. I think people tend to forget that, it's not an easy task to be on top of the game for 4 different decades. Okay, producing hit after hit, from the 90s, 2000, 2010s, 2020s. It's insane what she's been able to do. The only artists that I can think of that have been able to do, similarly would be like, Michael Jackson, Madonna, Mariah Carey, and these caliber of artists are elite. They are not the norm, okay? Normally we see celebrities last around 7 years, if they're lucky, maybe a decade, of people talking about them and then being able to maintain their relevancy. Nowadays, celebrity lifespans are even shorter than that, okay? So to assume that Aaliyah would have been able to go through 4 separate decades and be peers with Beyonce, it's not really fair in my opinion because it's not the regular. And from my understanding, Destiny's Child was overall bigger than Aaliyah as well. So, and I know Destiny's Child is a group compared to Aaliyah, who was a soloist. So, the point that many people might make is, Aaliyah overall as a person might have been bigger than Beyonce. And I can see that argument, but at the same time, Destiny's Child was so dominant back then and Beyonce was by far the most popular member in that group. And I don't think Aaliyah was like that much of a bigger celebrity than Beyonce. You know what I mean? Even back then. And, kind of like how Justin Timberlake from NSYNC, he was probably just as popular as like the most popular, I don't know, heartthrob back in the day in the 90s, just because NSYNC was, so popular, even the members. I just think people don't truly understand how insane of a run Beyonce has had in this industry. And if we are, breaking it down by numbers, there is no artist that debuted in the 90s that can even the 2000s that can come anywhere close to Beyonce's sales currently. Madonna, Mariah, Britney Spears, Alicia Keys, who are all very successful, and accomplished singers and artists in their own right. They'd be lucky to even sell 50K copies, first week on Billboard 200 this decade. Currently, Beyonce's last album sold 500,000 copies first week. And this is 8 albums into her career. Let's just even take Usher, for example, a legend. He has been able to, remain extremely relevant in 3 different decades. He sold over 1 million copies with his album Confessions in 2004 and ended up going, that album went diamond. This year he had, a ton of promotion, a Super Bowl performance, and his latest album sold 50,000 copies. And, these are not bad numbers for a legacy act, but, this just shows that, where Beyonce's peers are compared to her. Most of her peers are legacy acts. They aren't being pushed by their labels, nor are they expected to sell as much as, they used to, unless you look at Stan Twitter. But, and this is fair. They've accomplished a lot, and now they can just kind of sit back and enjoy, just creating music for their fans or whatever. This isn't Beyonce's situation. She is still in high command and and she's a commercial force. And when the industry gets word of Beyonce dropping, everybody moves up their album or pushes their album back. Okay. Beyonce has always been able to, out persevere every peer that the media has claimed is competition for her. First was Aaliyah, then Ashanti, outlasted Ashanti, Amory, Sierra. Lots of you guys act like Beyonce didn't have competition because Aaliyah passed away, but the media was constantly putting her against the next upcoming R&B girls. What makes you think that she wouldn't have outlasted Aaliyah as well? I don't understand. So, all in all, would I say that Aaliyah wouldn't have been as popular as Beyonce, had she been alive? No, because we truly would never know. Aaliyah was an extremely talented girl with absolute timeless hits. I do think that it's, kind of premature and really not fair to, Beyonce's legacy because people really only say this to humble Beyonce a bit. Though she's proven time and time again, like I said, that she's gonna come out on top. They've been comparing to the next girls, and she's been able to outlast. I want to know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Did Beyonce benefit off of Aaliyah's death? I think Beyonce was obviously able to benefit off of it just in terms of like market share. Sadly that Aaliyah had left behind. But I think that Beyonce would have been Beyonce regardless. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like and subscribe, and see you guys in the next video.